Okay guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna talk about two important battle rules that you really should follow. So when you battle, there are some written and unwritten rules that you should always follow pretty much. So of course there's very obvious rules, like for instance dance on the music. Well, makes total sense, right? If you dance off beat, well, I don't think the judges will pick you even if you have good moves, right? That makes sense. Also obvious rule, don't start fighting the opponent or other people, right? Makes total sense. And I hope I don't have to explain all these little rules, but there are two rules that you should try to follow when you battle, and they're quite important. The first rule is very simple, guy. It's in no repeating. So when you have let's say you do one round, you do a certain transition in your footwork, you try to avoid doing this the other rounds of the battle, right? So when the judges see this, it's basically repeating. If the judges don't see it, but the opponent sees this, of course he's going to call you out on it. Of you should do the same, actually. It's only smart, right? Prey on your opponent's weaknesses, basically. But if you see them repeat, of course you're going to call them out on it, and vice versa. So try to not repeat. There's no point in it, right? And basically, it's not about you can do signatures in special variations over and over and over, but you can use the same moves and the same steps again, as long as it's not those special variations, right? When you watch B-Boy Kill, it's one of my favorite power movers, right? He has so many variations, but actually when you look at his rounds, every round he uses air flare, every round he uses flare, and every round he uses this air chair, right? But then when you look at his rounds, it's not repeating because he uses it differently every time. And in footwork, you have so many variations, it's really not necessary to repeat in that regard, right? Try to avoid doing the same moves the same way, and you can pretty much get away with it, right? But yeah, you should sort of study this and study your own stuff if you have enough. Now, when you, of course, do only one round, this doesn't count. But if it's like basically, okay, you won the battle and you're gonna battle again, you know, be prepared basically for if that happens. Or, you know, like I did like now 20 footwork runs already on this channel, which I did with my students. And, you know, so there's really no need to do the same footwork twice, right? So yeah, guys, work on that. When the judges see that, you know, and basically, okay, this guy is very good. This guy's also very good, but he does the same thing I've seen in an earlier round. Okay, of course I'm going to go with the guy who comes fresh every time, right? This makes sense. So the other rule is no crashing, guys. This is quite important. When you crash, pretty much, man, okay, it's the same what I just said, basically. Okay, this guy's very good. This guy's very good. You know, I don't know who I'm going to pick. This guy does a lot of cool moves. This guy does a lot of dance. Man, they're both good. Who am I going to pick? Of course I'm going to pick the guy that doesn't fall on his face, right? So this makes total sense, and it's actually also those slips in footwork, like you do steps and you're stuck there, or you know, you do steps but you actually slip up. These little things, basically, even the judges will watch this, and it makes their job very easy, right? Okay, yeah, I don't know who to pick. So what do you do when you do crash? Of course you continue. I fell on my face and won a battle once. I was surprised myself, right? But basically what happens is, okay, you fall, and then what you should do is give everything you got to recover from this, right? Also, what's very smart is when you sort of prepare for if you fall. It can happen to everyone. When you look at gymnastics, right, has nothing to do with breaking, but what I want to tell you about is these guys and girls practice one routine over and over and over non-stop. It's not like break, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that, and you freestyle it, right? They know what they're going to do, and still they sometimes fall or crash, right? So basically what you want to do is like, okay, I do this move. Let's say you do the handstand. I'm just giving an example. And okay, if my handstand goes correctly, I'm good. But if I do fall on my back, which I don't fall, I'm going to prepare for that by practicing also my handstand to the bridge, so I can recover from this and no one will know that I fell, right? So this is sort of a thing you can do to prepare. Also, never give up. You never know what happens. Maybe your opponent also falls. Who knows, right? So don't give up, but those are two very important rules. These are probably the biggest rules what judges should pick on if they're not, basically, if the opponent is not a lot better, basically. Right? So when they see someone fall or slip, well, don't give up, but you know, either you or the guy who falls, you know, like man, that's a bad thing, and don't be surprised if you lose that way. Like, I can give an example of, especially on those big stages like Freestyle Session, Red Bull BC1, man, people are so surprised by the results, but when I see like one of the guys slip, like, okay, yeah, man, this is a big stage. You can't slip like that. You cannot fall like that, right? And that's the thing you should work on. Other than that, of course, if you're way better, you can still recover, right? You might be very lucky that the judges don't pay attention. Who knows, right? But just continue if it happens. But those two things are very important, guys. And then the obvious ones, like, you know, be on the music, face your opponent, you know, basically represent right. But I hope you know that by now. See you next time.